My mother-in-law has an old Singer sewing machine that she brought to Canada back in the day. There's a small piece of steel. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 centimeters squared that holds up the sewing machine. It's a table sewing machine. You lift, I'm not sure, there's a leaf that you open, the machine comes down, and then you can close the leaf and it acts as a table. However, when you're bringing the machine down, there's a little pin that prevents the sewing machine from falling to the ground. And that's what's broken. Being an antique machine, it's obviously can't find the parts anymore. So what I got to do is cast this little pin connection. It looks something like, let me draw it. It's something like this. I mean, I looked at it once. So I need to make a mold. I would guess maybe 2 inches square in the interior. I'm going to use this pine, 3/4 inch pine. I'm thinking maybe if it's 2 inches square, add the 1.5 inches for the edges. That's 3.5. Let's call it 4 inches. Let's call 4 inches by 4 inches are the sides, and we'll call it 1.5 inches. An inch. And each half of the mold will be an 1.5 inches in height, or the thickness of the wood. So what I'm going to do is cut 8 pieces of wood, 4 by 1.5 inches, and we'll get on to the next step. 8 pieces, 4 for each half, exact same sizes. I cut them on my table saw, so that's the reason I don't have that portion on the video. The table saw is in the garage. So let's put them together. So in, out, this will be the mold. What I'll do is I'll use a Forstner bit for the pole. I want to have it standing on ends, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. I'll cut some 1/4 inch hardboard just for the sides here. What I need to do is make some guides. This is an old one. This is a practice one I had. Here is a practice. What you want is to get just a piece of wood here, cut a notch in it to know which side's which, and to have it clamped properly, right? Won't move this way. I'll just cut this off on the bandsaw and I'll be right back. Okay. I want the pour here on this side. Let's pencil. I want the pour here. All right. So therefore, okay. Which one do we want the top? Because there isn't, doesn't make a difference, right? This will be the top. Ah, boom, out and out. There you have it. Perfect little mold. Change my mind. I want this defect on the bottom, this crack on the bottom. So we're going to drill up here. All that's left is a couple of panels here to keep the clay in. Next step is we got to make some clay. And what I'm thinking I need to do is angle that a bit. Maybe taper that on a 45-degree angle. Anyways, next we need to make the sand. Green sand it's called. And that is a mixture of sand, which I'm using play sand, and clay. And what I seem to understand is optimal about a 7-to-1 ratio. So 7 parts sand, 1 part clay. I'm using play sand for the sand. Play sand for the sand. I got this coffee can, cut out the bottom, flattened it, used the top lip, some hot glue, and I used some screening for windows or sliding doors, porch doors, to act as a strainer or sifter. Is it strainer or sifter? Or is there a difference? Strain tomatoes, sift flour. So strainers wet and dry goods are sifting. So let's keep it at that. I sifted the sand. So I'll use 7 parts sand, and I'm going to get 1 cup of clay. For the clay, I'm using cat litter, which, from what I've read, there are cat litters you can buy which are 100% clay, which I purchased. So I need 1 cup. "22 kilograms, that's 48.5 pounds of cat litter purchased so I can get 1 cup. I think it's time to buy a cat. Maybe a little kitten. Anyway, so we're going to get 1 cup of this. I'll get 2 cups. I'm going to pound it because it looks like it's little fine. Looks like it's little fine granules. I want to pound it and then sift it. So that's next. We'll get a couple cups of that. Pound, sift, mix together. Spritz it with water until it clumps together, and that should give us our green sand. So that's what I'm doing next. First iteration of a wooden hammer. Can you tell I'm Canadian? Put it on the ground. That's not working. I could use a coffee grinder, but I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to do a coffee grinder. You can see. You can see. 7-1, stand to clay. I'm Armenian. I'm kneading the meat and the bulgur to make kufta. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to clump together. I've done a couple things the last couple of days here. I made representation of what we want to cast. Representation of what we want to cast. And we can see it here. It's something like this. It may have a couple of pins sticking out, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is just a practice run. So it's just out of wood and a small little dowel attached. So we're going to be casting this. I also made a couple of modifications to the forge. Originally, the forge was cast with an ABS pipe, 2-inch ABS pipe in the middle. I flattened out the bottom. Right? A file will do it, right? I took a file, flattened it out, just because I'm using either a small little graphite crucible or a quartz one. If you heat the outside, the heat will transfer to the contents, whereas the quartz crucible will not transfer the heat. You have to apply the heat directly to the metal to melt it. So I need a flat bottom here. Round bottom will cut it. I don't want this tipping over while it's inside the forge, right? So I'm not sure which one I'll use yet. I also added a little extra clay to the mixture. I wasn't happy with the way it was forming, so I just sprinkled on some clay, and it's a better consistency. Sand form. The sand form, we got the top part is called the cope, the bottom part is called the drag. We have the locating pins. We have male and female, obviously. We want to fill the bottom portion of the form first, right? And we want the inside facing down. So, female, male, this one won't sit flat. This one will. This is the inside's facing down. Therefore, male on the bottom. We don't want it too compacted. You tamp it down. We're ramming down the sand. And I'm not going too hard. I do want it flat on the bottom. That's good. Custom made ramming tool. If you want, I can make you one. The process of flattening the top portion. It's called strickling. So what I have here is a ramming tool and a strickler as well. So here we have it. This is the inside portion of the bottom of the mold. So we're pouring the molten metal through this hole. We need to add a sprue. I'm thinking it's going to be about the width of a paintbrush to pour it. And we want, I think I want the metal to be poured this way, right? So I want this facing towards the opening. But before we do, I've got some baby powder here. Just adding some baby powder to prevent the top and the bottom half of the mold from sticking. I'm going to want the metal to be poured in this way. So I want this portion to be facing the pour. I'm going to make a channel there to pour the metal. And it should be filling it up there. I want it this way. Just press it in gently halfway. Like so. We'll continue filling it up. There we have it. Just give it a tap. Ah. The sand loosened over here. You need to tidy it up a bit. Okay. Just want to make a channel here. You need to make some air channels for the air to escape. Let's put one here. the end. And we'll go down. I'll just make one more. And I think it's ready for casting. Let me get a couple clamps here. All right, let's just clean up here. So I know this isn't the best lit video here. We are backlit. We're outside. We're just in my garage. I don't have leather gloves, but I am protecting my hands. And I do have kitchen tongs. I'm not sure how long we're going to eat this. I'll check it periodically. I mean, it's a small crucible. We're not making a 100-layer damask samurai sword here. We're making a small little pin for a sewing machine. We're getting there. It's starting to jiggle. The aluminum is jiggling in there. I'll try to hand hold the camera when I take it out before the pour. Okay, let's give it a shot here. Let's see how it looks. Can't really tell. Think about it again. That's pretty successful, I'd say. So let's clean this up a bit. First attempt at sand casting. It's respectable. Give it a shot. Thanks for joining. Until next time. Bye.